I feel that my journey at HPCL has been steady and meaningful, and it has given me a lot of perspective.
What does a typical day look like in your life?
My typical day would be a mix of planning, execution, coordination and troubleshooting.
Have you ever encountered subtle form of biases at the ground level or at the field level?
When you go to the ground, there are subtle nuances where you find that yes, there is a bias that is shown. Over a period of time, when you state your objectives clearly, when you state what you want it field, and when you tell it in a firm way, the system slowly starts changing.
Women think, okay, we need to handle our professional life, but we also need to give our best in our personal life, and they end up scrutinizing themselves. So what advice would you give to them?
We are very hard on ourselves as women. We look to do everything perfectly. One of my mentors told me that perfection is not the thing we should target for. We should look for excellence in everything we do. I think that makes things a lot easier.
What tips or advices would you give to young officers who are stepping into the field roles?
Safety is what occurs to me first. And then coming next, we need to start asking questions. And to top it all, we need to have time for ourselves. Please don't wait for the perfect opportunity to come along or for the perfect moment to happen. We need to create the moment.
Welcome to a special episode of HP Unplugged, where we are celebrating the inspiring women leaders of HPCL who continue to shape its future through resilience, expertise and quiet determination. Today, we spotlight a leader whose journey reflects strategic depth and execution excellence. Someone who has seamlessly moved from procurement strategy rooms to on-ground project leadership at the Vishakh Refinery. I am Trisha, Officer PRCC, and it is a great privilege to introduce you to the exemplary Ms. Sathi Sravanthi, Chief Manager, Technical Department, Vishakh Refinery. She manages a diverse portfolio of nearly 15 assignments, including R&D pilot plants, net zero initiatives, infrastructure modernization, and allied civil works. Since joining HPCL in 2008 in the Refinery Materials Department, she has played a pivotal role in procurement and contract finalization, contributing significantly to the Vishakh Refinery Modernization Project, and is instrumental in handling purchase orders amounting to approximately 10,000 crore, including the then largest LSTK order for HPCL. Her career reflects adaptability and forward-looking leadership, from spearheading early transitions to e-procurement and GEM implementation to successfully transitioning into project execution and multidisciplinary coordination. A university topper from JNTU Kakinada, recipient of the HPCL Outstanding Achievement Award and currently part of HP Nava 2.0 while pursuing an MBA in Energy Management from IIM Raipur. Her journey embodies growth, commitment and excellence. It is truly an honor to hear from her today. A very warm welcome to this exclusive episode of HP Unplugged, ma'am. We are truly honored to have you today with us.
Thank you, Trisha, for the warm welcome. I'm equally excited to be a part of this.
So, ma'am, if we start right from the beginning, you were a university topper and a gold medalist from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Kakinada, before joining HPCL at Vishakh Refinery. So, we would love to know how your journey with HPCL began and what are the key milestones or projects that you were proud to be a part of.
Thank you, Trisha, for starting this conversation on such a wonderful note, reminiscing my most cherished achievement. Yes, I was a university topper of my college and the university. I joined HPCL in 2008 and I have joined in purchase department, and my majority of the career has been in procurement department, materials department. I have had the opportunity of working in both the refinery materials department and the project purchase as well. In refinery materials department, I have been a part of very critical milestones like transitioning to the GST regime, then rollout of e-procurement and onboarding onto GEM procurement. And in project purchase, I have had the good opportunity of being associated with contract finalization for Vishakh Refinery Modernization Project. You might be aware of it, right? That residue upgradation facility which was recently commissioned in VR. And I'm very fortunate and grateful that I have been the purchase officer in placing the contract for that particular LSTK package. And then very recently, like 3 years back, I've moved into minor projects, which is a project execution role. And that has brought a full arc visibility for me. Now I see how contracts translate onto the ground. I see them taking shape on the ground. So now I have full visibility from contracting to how projects are executed or they come up on ground. So if you look back today, I feel that my journey at HPCL has been steady and meaningful. It has been a steady progression and it has given me a lot of perspective.
So, ma'am, you were the purchase officer of residue upgradation facility, which is one of the important milestones in HPCL's history. So, what was that journey like for you? And when residue upgradation facility was commissioned and it began its operation, how did you feel?
It felt nothing short of magical, I would say. Because the moment the contract was placed, it felt so exhilarating that seeing the effort paying off. And then I would always used to think how the people at field would have been feeling, bringing that magnum opus to life. So it was such a beautiful journey actually. We used to visit the field when RUF was taking shape in field. It looks magnificent at site. I think you should come down to Vishakh Refinery to see it once.
I would love to, ma'am. And what were the challenges that you faced during that entire process, if there were any?
I would not state that it was a challenge, but it was a learning in the process, because the moment the contract value goes up, the stakes are higher, and even a small miscommunication or misinterpretation of the clauses in a contract would prove very costly. So that is one learning I take home from that. And you have guidance throughout. So there will be layered introspection, and you have guidance across all levels in the corporation, even right from the approving authority to your internal department ROs and RVOs and heads. So it has been a beautiful journey. It has been challenging only in the aspect that it is such a high value. It was at that time, it was the highest single order largest value in HPCL.
But now that it has commissioned, it has began its operation, it's really fulfilling, I guess.
Very much.
So now you are the Chief Manager of Minor Projects at Vishakh Refinery, and you currently oversee nearly 15 diverse projects, right from planning and civil execution to cross-functional coordination. So what does a typical day look like in your life?
My typical day would be a mix of planning, execution, coordination and troubleshooting. So my day typically starts with scanning all my projects, looking at how things are going, where works are stuck up or which need a little push, and then how whether all the work fronts are being utilized. Then I go to the site to get a reality check, because that is what gives you a real-time picture of what is happening at site and what requires a push and what constraints might come up. Then after this, it would be coordination with stakeholders, wherein we see where we need to tweak things to keep things going forward in the future. And then troubleshooting would follow, because obviously not all stakeholders will be on the same page when you start any activity. So the typical day looks like this, but it's not always in the same sequence. So some days the field work becomes heavy, some days the documentation part becomes heavy. Flexibility is a part of my role, I would say. So this is how my typical day goes.
Okay. So now usually all of us have seen the projects taking shape. We at the end of the day see the final projects coming to life. But what are the key challenges that you face on ground during the execution part?
Generally what everyone sees after a project gets built is the rosy picture. And what happens on ground is a lot of coordination, a lot of troubleshooting and a lot of stakeholder alignment. See, there are many day-to-day challenges or scenarios that come up, because you will be working around working units, right from taking a permit to ensure that your contractor gets in manpower, and then things are going as per schedule. And supposing they do not go as per schedule, see what are your catch-up plans or what do you need to bring in so that the risk is mitigated. See, all these things come into play. And I truly wish that people take time to appreciate when things go smoothly also, the efforts that went behind it to see that things went smoothly, while we alongside appreciate when things went wrong and they were addressed. While that is always there, I truly wish that people see the efforts that have gone when things go smoothly. And on a personal level, I tackle things on 3 priorities. Safety comes first, because there are so many projects going on, and within a project there will be so many scenarios coming up. So we as a team address it prioritizedly. Safety is non-negotiable. Safety comes first. That takes the immediate attention for the day if there is anything related to safety. Then comes your coordination issues, and then you identify a bottleneck, or if you think that something is leading to rework, you need to pause and think so that we avoid rework. So that is my style, like how I would approach a project scenario or multiple project scenarios.
So ma'am, as you said that you have to deal with multiple stakeholders involving multiple contractors as well. So have you ever encountered subtle form of biases at the ground level or at the field level? And if so, how do you not let them affect you on a personal level and still get the job done?
See, at the ground level, you handle with so many unskilled contract manpower that come in. So you can't expect their behavior to be like a white-collared employee. So when you go to the ground, there are subtle nuances where you find that, yes, there is a bias that is shown. See, a very small example would be when you go into the field with your male counterpart, like colleague. They would acknowledge them first, and they would not right away think, even that thought doesn't come to them immediately that, okay, I might be the decision maker, or that female colleague might be a decision maker. So it happens. But then over a period of time, when you state your objectives clearly, when you state what you want it field, and when you tell it in a firm way, the system slowly starts changing.
So there are days when all of this gets very overwhelming. So how do you not let them affect you at a very personal level? Is there any motto behind it?
Truth to be told, it affects me. But it is a gradual progression where you build your walls up. Because if you let it affect you, finally at the end of the day, it's your work that will get affected. So you cannot go and teach, or rather train everybody to tell that no, this is how a behavior should come. Behavior should come from within. And slowly it smoothens out, but it's a gradual. It has been a gradual transition for me, where initially it used to pinch a lot. Now it doesn't pinch that much.
So this is a gradual process, we could say.
Yes.
So if we are talking about a gradual process, you are also at a pivotal mid-management stage where you are preparing for larger leadership responsibilities, while on the other hand, you're also handling significant personal milestones. So how has this particular phase been for you?
It is intense, Trisha, because as you have rightly told, this is a transitional phase for me professional wise, where there has been a transition to a middle management role where we are looking at larger responsibilities, larger things at stake, and you need to manage multiple stakeholders. At the same time, personally, my children are in a formative stage. I have two wonderful children at home, a boy and a girl. So they are also at a formative stage, and they look for your time, they demand your time. It is an intense phase, but things do work out. All of us have a beautiful support system at home, and might be we hesitate to call for support. And if we look out for support, I think each one of us can make things work out, because there is no blanket mantra for this, because every one of us have come from different backgrounds. We have different family scenarios back at home. Yes, I'm right now going through it.
And ma'am, usually what happens is women tend to scrutinize themselves. They think, okay, we need to handle our professional life, but we also need to give our best in our personal life. And they end up scrutinizing themselves. So what advice would you give to them?
We are very hard on ourselves as women. We look to do everything perfectly. See, one of my mentors told me that, see, perfection is not the thing we should target for. We should look for excellence in everything we do. I think that makes things a lot easier. I think if we stop looking for perfection in everything we do, and if we try to excel at what we are doing, I think we are meeting the requirements. We need not be perfect. We are being very harsh on ourselves if we are trying to do that.
Yes, ma'am, that's actually true. And alongside handling your civil section of minor projects, you're also pursuing energy management from IIM Raipur. So firstly, how has your experience of being a student again been like for you? And in what ways has it changed your perspective?
First of all, it has been a huge leap for me. And being a student all over again is very humbling and refreshing. Refreshing in a sense because you start learning all over again. You learn new concepts, you learn new theories, and humbling because the hard reality hits you on the face that you have so much to learn. So it is refreshing and humbling. And with all these things going on, it is actually a bit stressful. But I try to arrange it in pockets. Like, say, I don't look for reading in very long terms. See, whatever small pockets I can get, I try to fit my readings into that, so that things keep moving and they don't build up on me like, see, nahi, ye nahi hua, ye main nahi kar pa rahi hu. So that is how I'm approaching it right now. And it gives a wholly new perspective. You see things from a macro level. You step back and see a fuller circle actually. Generally what happens in our routine day-to-day work, our curiosity level somehow gets down a bit. The moment you are attending such sessions, or if not MBA, any other sessions, you become more curious. You start asking questions. Are we doing it the right way? Can it be done better? Or supposing energy management, say sustainability is a part of it. Things that used to come to my mind was like, are we doing it in a sustainable way, or can I bring in something better? So all this, your mind becomes more active and curious.
And how has your experience been with all the assignments?
It is not so pleasant as of now. I'm still getting used to it. I hope I get used to it fast. The assignments are tiring, but there's something to learn from all of them, all the assignments. They're deeply insightful.
And ma'am, additionally, many women at the same managerial level, they may also have the same opportunity to pursue a course or a degree from a reputed institute, but they might not be able to take that leap of faith because of their personal and professional commitments. So what would you like to say to them so that they could take that leap?
So it is like we need not wait for the perfect time for anything. So it happened in my case also. I was thinking to pursue an MBA at least from the last 2 to 3 years. But the moment the opportunity came, I took a deep breath and thought, see, what worse can happen? The worst that can happen is I might not complete. See, that is the worst that can happen. But then I thought, see, if I don't try, I don't know if I can do it or not. So that was the moment where I took this leap, and I think it is turning out beautifully. I am enjoying it. So please don't wait for the perfect opportunity to come along or for the perfect moment to happen. We need to create the moment.
That's great to hear, ma'am, that we need not wait for the perfect opportunity, but we can create it. And you began your journey with Vishakh Refinery. So I would love to know what are the changes that you have witnessed in the refinery in terms of inclusivity, leadership opportunities, and how has this place shaped you both professionally and personally?
So being in a refinery setup has brought a lot of structure to my thoughts. And not to forget, the safety perspective it brings in you is tremendous, because you see safety first in everything, even at home or whatever activity you do. It changes your mindset. And then from a perspective of inclusivity, I see a positive change. There has been, you can see a lot of girls in core roles, and there has been openness to accepting girls in field roles. Then women are there, and I see opportunities opening up. And there is a lot more matureness in the conversations we have. So that way there is a lot of openness, and I see a very positive change. But one thing that actually keeps me thinking is, we are addressing the conscious biases so beautifully by having workshops, by having frequent conversations where we are bringing to the forefront that there is a bias which needs to be addressed. But then what about the subconscious or the societal bias that is in all of us? Because many a time, the opposite gender need not be your biggest critic. It might come from within ourselves also. I think all of us, when in our day-to-day lives, we need to make a conscious effort. We need to take a pause, step back and think, would it be the right thing to do? It takes a moment, but I think a culture shift, we are speaking about a culture shift if that were to happen, because it boils down to a personal level. Any bias at that context boils down to a personal level, and personal shift happens when the culture starts shifting. So I think we all need to make conscious efforts on it.
It's very important to pause, rethink and then take a step. And related to that, I have a question that you are multitasking a lot of different responsibilities at the moment, and often multitasking at this scale can sometimes lead to burnout. So have you experienced such a phase in your journey, and if so, how, or basically what has helped you regain the balance in your life?
See, burnout, yes, see, we all go through it, but we fail to identify it. I'm happy that of late, this word is coming up in many forums where we identify ourselves that, yes, this is a common thing that is happening across. See, I have also had a phase of, a very down phase, I would say. And I learned it the very hard way, because it has taken a toll on my health. I think all of us need to ask for support when we need it. And as we already discussed earlier, see, we always look for actually perfection in what we do and giving our best to everything. I think for me, the mantra was like delegating. I started delegating tasks, which actually might not require only me to do it. So I started looking things in that perspective. I asked for support, and I'm very grateful that support has come to me in small bits and pieces, and all the small gestures counted. I have a wonderful working environment around my workplace. So we have good people around. They're ready to help. We just need to reach out for help. in such a case.
That's great to hear, ma'am. Because at the end of the day, when you seek help or ask for someone else, I think the journey becomes much more smoother than it is. And before we wrap up today's session, you were part of the procurement team, then you went to contract finalization, and now you're handling the planning and execution part. What tips or advices would you give to young officers who are stepping into the field roles?
See, coming from a refinery perspective, safety is what occurs to me first. Safety is a mindset in whatever you do. That is not a job role or a job description. So everyone should inculcate a safety mindset. And then coming next, we need to start asking questions. We need to be curious. We should not let the curiosity dim down at any stage, because that is what keeps us going at the majority of the phases. And we need to actually think beyond our job role. Look at the complete scenario. You don't just get restricted to what is your job. Okay, so X to Y is what I'm doing. I'll stop at Y. But you need to see the further part of it. You need to look at it in totality. That brings in a lot of perspective. And to top it all, we need to have time for ourselves. And when you enter any company, that is the best time for anyone to build a sustainable lifestyle. Knowingly or unknowingly, we get into some grinds. We need to be conscious from that level so that we can build a sustainable lifestyle. These are my perspectives and whatever I have seen till now. Because all of us come from varied backgrounds. These need not fit for everybody. Even if it relates to some people, I feel that it is a useful suggestion.
Yes, ma'am, that's great to hear. Thank you so much for doing this exclusive episode of HP Unplugged with us, ma'am. We were truly honored to have had this insightful discussion with you today.
Thank you, Trisha. I'm equally glad that I have had this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for graciously sharing your journey and insights with us today. Your vast experience, thoughtful leadership, and steadfast dedication to HPCL is truly inspiring. To our viewers, we sincerely appreciate you joining us for this special episode of HP Unplugged. We hope today's interaction left you inspired. Do share your thoughts with us in the comment section below and be a part of celebrating the women who are driving impact and sharing the present and the future of HPCL. A true reflection of She is HPCL. Until next time.